Good morning, everybody. Monday morning, 9 a.m. Happy new week. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. I've got grey sky out that window and I've got blue sky out that window. There is some sun shining through, which is good. We'll see what the day brings. My weekend was very quiet, exactly how I wanted it to be. My work weeks are so busy at the moment that I just like to pretty much do nothing in the weekends at the moment. So today our topic is the best decision you'll ever make, hands down, and we'll get to that in a second. One of the first questions that I ask my clients when we start working together is where they sit on the scale of how they're feeling. So a 1 is basically feeling like death, and then a 10 is feeling like I'm jumping out of my skin, so excited by life because I feel so good. And most of those people that I start working with will say that they are around a 5 or below. After a period of only weeks, I ask that question again. So usually, our 12-week program, usually towards that sort of 6-week mark or a little bit later, I'll ask that same question. Where are you sitting on that scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how you're feeling, keeping in mind that you were a 5 or below when you started? And most people will say I'm up sort of around that 8 or 9. And one of the common things that they say to me is, if I'd known how easy it would be to become well and to feel good again, I would have done this a lot sooner. So getting back to the topic of the day, the best decision you'll ever make, hands down, if you're feeling like you're around about a 7 or below, the best decision you'll ever make is to come and work with us, and we will help you get further up that scale so that you feel really, really good. And I can't overestimate how simple it is to start feeling well again when you give your body the right support. So we're talking about really basic lifestyle changes, really easy tweaks to what you're doing already. There's obviously some changes that need to be made most of the time, but what we do is so sensible and sustainable that people are actually really surprised at how easy it is. So today, actually what I'm going to do today is I'm going to answer some frequently asked questions that come through to us on a regular basis. So last week I spoke all about the world of holistic wellness, and I had a few people contact me after that with some questions about what it involves and some sort of more of the like nitty-gritty of what you have to do on that program. So I've put together a list of frequently asked questions, and these relate to not just the world of holistic wellness, but everything that we do. So I'm going to read through them, and hopefully this is going to answer any questions that you have around what we do and why. Also, I just want to be able to refer people to this video when they have questions about our programs. So one of the most common questions we get is this a diet? On our programs, we give people meal plans, we give them grocery lists, we give them recipes, we educate people on the things that maybe they shouldn't be eating and why. There are certain foods that we are told are good for us. I'm not going to say exactly which industries promote that, but there are definitely foods that people are thinking are doing the right things for them, but they're not. And so we explain why those foods should be removed from the diet, not forever. And it's certainly not a matter of, taking things out and not ever having them again. But no, this is not a diet. We don't get into diets. We don't get into trends or fads or quick fixes. Together, Steve and I, excuse me, we've got over 20 years in the health and wellness industry. We've seen all the trends, we've seen all the fads, we know that they don't work. The thing with a diet is that there's a start point and there's an end point. And when you get to that end point, more often than not, you've had enough and you'll default back to your old patterns, and that's where all the weight will go back on, and you'll end up worse than what you were to begin with. So no, nothing that we do on our program is a diet. This is all about, what we do is all about making sustainable, sensible changes that you can sustain over the long term. No diets required. We're very, very clear on that. Will I have to cook 2 meals? No, definitely not. Our meal plans are designed to be very flexible. We don't expect you to follow them 100% because that's too hard and too stressful for you. It's basically just a guideline. It gives you a really good idea of the types of foods that we want you to be eating. And no, we don't want you cooking 2 separate meals, one for you and one for the rest of your family. The meal plans are designed to fit in with your family and your schedule and your budget. So you cook 1 meal and we explain how to work around that for other members of the family who might be eating slightly differently. Another question is, what if I don't like the food? Well, wait until you try it. I can tell you the food on our meal plans is really delicious. We teach you how to incorporate your favorite foods so that you don't feel like you're missing out. We don't want you to feel deprived or miserable. That's not what this is about. So we make sure that we make allowances for your favorites every now and then as well. And that makes it, a lot easier over the long term. What if I don't like cooking? You'll be surprised actually how easy a lot of our meals are on our meal plans. We've got everything from meals that take 5 minutes to longer meals that take a little bit longer to prepare. Basically everything in between. So you don't have to worry about spending hours in the kitchen slaving away cooking meals. That's not what we want to do. A lot of the people that we work with are already feeling quite overwhelmed and there's quite a lot of stress going on in their lives. So the last thing that we want to do is add more stress to that person's life. So we make sure that the meals that we give you are easy and, don't take you too much time. Do I need to buy extra supplements? There are 4 supplements that we recommend to everybody. 2 of them are a priority. We don't make money off supplements. It's not like some kind of unethical thing going on where, we're trying to sell supplements to make money. That's not what we do. There are 4 supplements that we recommend to everyone. They are incredible. We call them our workhorses because they just do so many good things in the body. But they are optional. You don't have to take them. But if you do, you will see, really good results with your health. Will the food be expensive? No, it is not expensive. In fact, when you start eating really good, fresh, whole, nutrient-dense foods, you'll notice that your grocery bill actually goes down because you're not buying a lot of the extra stuff like packaged and convenience foods, which really do cost a lot of money. Nothing on our meal plans can't be found at the supermarket. You can find everything at the supermarket. There might be 1 or 2 things that you will need to go to a health shop for, but it's all really, really basic food. Another question is, and this is a very common one actually, is I've tried everything. Why is your program different? And, a lot of the people that we see, they are a little bit skeptical because they think, well, I've been to doctors and I've been to specialists and I've spent so much time and I've spent so much money. Like, how can I be sure that what you're going to do is going to be going to make the difference for me? And we understand that. We understand the frustration that people have been through when they've, spent time and money trying to resolve issues that aren't being resolved through the conventional system. What I will say is that our program is different because we focus on a holistic approach to healing and we focus on the 5 functional pillars of health, okay? Nutrition, exercise, gut health, sleep, and addressing the root cause of stress. Now, why we are different from other healthcare professionals, even other holistic healthcare professionals, is that often like a professional in the health industry will only be focusing on 1 or 2 of those things at a time. So for example, you could go to a nutritionist and they might focus on your nutrition and your gut, but they're not asking questions about what's your sleep like, what's going on in the background that's creating stress for you. What kind of exercise are you doing? Are you doing too much for your state of health at the moment? Likewise, you could go to a personal trainer and they might talk to you about, well, they will talk to you about exercise and maybe nutrition, but again, are they asking you about your sleep? Are they checking that you've got adequate recovery time through your sleep to be doing that high intensity exercise? So this is where a lot of people are in the health industry, they're not covering those 5 essential things. And really those 5 essential things need to be discussed in their entirety, because otherwise you may end up being led down the garden path and be doing things that aren't actually that good for you and will lead you closer to illness, not closer to health. Good morning, Lisa. Thank you for tuning in this morning. The other way that our program is different is that we address viral and bacterial activity in the body. This is not something that is addressed by conventional medicine, and this is a huge part of our success. We had to go down this path when I was chronically ill. Conventional medicine couldn't help me, and we had to start digging really deep to figure out what was going on in my body. And we found that viral and bacterial activity in the body was a massive part of what was going on for me. And since then, we've done a lot more research in that area, and we realized that that is the root cause of most health issues. No matter what your health issue is, it's most likely got viral and pathogenic activity at the root cause, and we deal with that root cause. That's why people get better on our programs, because we're dealing with the root cause. We're not masking symptoms. We don't give out medication. What value do I get for the price of the program? So our program has been developed and fine-tuned over 20 years. So basically we have created a program that covers all the essential things that you need to know. And there's 20 plus years of experience behind this program. Really, you know, yes, we give you meal plans, we give you recipes, we give you coaching videos, we give you coaching sessions. Yes, that was all very valuable stuff. But actually, what you're paying for is our intellectual property. Many years experience being condensed down into a program that works. Can I pay the program off? Yes, you can. We've got payment plans available. What experience do you have? Well, Steve has over 20 years experience in the health and wellness industry. He's got a strong background in personal training and nutrition. He also has first-hand experience in being the primary caregiver for his mother from the age of 10. If you've read our book, our first book, From Living Hell to Living Well, you'll read all about Steve's story. He sort of talks about it like he became, his training ground for becoming a health coach started when he was 10, and he had to look after his mother. Later on, he had to look after me when I got very sick, and I couldn't function very well at all. Steve had to look after me. I am a qualified life coach. I'm also a qualified plant-based nutrition specialist, and I have been through devastating chronic illness. I'm not someone sitting across from my client, you know, just rattling off a whole lot of stuff that I've been taught. No, I've lived it. I've had to experience it. I went through over 2 years of very bad symptoms, worst time in my life, had to figure out how to get better. So I have first-hand experience in healing my body, and now I have that knowledge to be able to pass on to other people. So really, you know, qualifications are great. There's no disputing that. You know, there's a lot of value from going and studying your subject, but the real learning comes from living through something yourself, and then, you know, having that first-hand experience and then being able to pass it on to other people. That is where the true value comes from with our coaching. Good morning, Ellie. Hope you're well. Thanks for watching this morning. Okay, what type of support do we offer is another frequently asked question. So we offer one-on-one coaching sessions throughout the duration of the program. Our main program used to be 6 weeks. It is now 12 weeks, and we offer coaching support through that 12 weeks. So either weekly or fortnightly, depending on the client's needs. As I mentioned last week with our World of Holistic Wellness program, which is a 12-month mentorship, we do monthly coaching calls on Zoom, but you get access to us, Steve or myself, throughout that 12 months, and that is unlimited. That means that you can call on us at any time via email or text, and we will support you. So a big part of our success with our programs is that we keep people accountable, and we're also checking in with people regularly to make sure that, you know, anything that pops up during that week or that fortnight is being dealt with. It's not left to fester and turn into some kind of, you know, major issue. So that's a really core part of our coaching, is that we offer consistent ongoing support. Do I need to exercise? You guys are going to love this. I know a lot of you are going to love it. Actually, exercise, when we talk about the 5 functional pillars of health, exercise comes down the bottom of the priority list. A lot of people are getting caught in the trap of feeling like they have to exercise, that they have to do high intensity exercise. And for a lot of people who are stressed or are overwhelmed, this is actually the worst thing that they can be doing. And this goes back to our question about why is your program different? You go to a personal trainer and you say, right, I want to lose 10 kilos. But what your personal trainer doesn't realize is that you're not sleeping and you've got a whole lot of background stress going on, and they start giving you a training routine that involves high intensity exercise. That is going to push you further towards illness. This is what we need to get through to people, is that yes, the fitness industry is doing great things, of course, but if personal trainers aren't aware of what's going on beneath the surface for somebody with their health, they are going to be giving those people the wrong advice. So this is why we give everybody we work with an adrenal stress quiz. It gives us a very clear idea of what's going on from an adrenal function point of view. If someone's in the crashed zone, where their adrenal system has been under a lot of pressure for a long period of time, we say to them, please stop exercising. Go for a walk around the block if you can manage it. The boot camp classes, the boxing classes, the F45 classes, you need to stop, because they are putting your body under too much stress. So yes, if you're a healthy person, if your body is thriving, if you're feeling good mentally, physically and emotionally, go off and do whatever you like. Go and do your ultra marathons or your triathlons. If you're not feeling well, if you're not sleeping, if you've got other stress going on, please don't do high intensity exercise. It's going to work against you. And this is where we can guide people in the right direction with that. So quite often we'll have people who come to us and they say, you know, I want to lose 10 or 15 kilos. I've been doing all the right things, you know, eating well. I've been doing F45 or whatever it might be, and I can't lose weight. And we say to them, well, your adrenal system's not working properly. We need to focus on getting that right. So please stop exercising. And then when they do that, and we say to them, look, just go for a walk or do some gentle stretches, the weight starts to fall off with no problem, because what's happening is that the body is now feeling safe. It's not having to keep up with this high intensity stuff all the time. And when the body feels safe, it will start to shed body fat. So exercise is down the bottom of the priority list when it comes to our coaching. Do I need to be strict? No, you don't. This is our 80-20 rule that we talk about. To be fair, you do have to be strict, you know, to a certain degree. You can't just go off and keep doing what you've been doing if that's not working for you. But the 80-20 rule is a really wonderful rule. This is what makes our coaching so successful and so sustainable over the long term. Make good decisions 80% of the time. Do the right thing. Follow our guidelines. And that gives you 20% of the time to let your hair down, kick back, relax, and do whatever the heck you want. This makes it really, really easy to make long-term sustainable changes. So what that means, the 20% gives you wriggle room. I like to call it wriggle room. That's where you can just go off and have, you know, your cheat meal each week. You can go out for dinner. You can go out, you know, enjoy your special occasion occasions, have your wine, have your dessert, whatever you need to do, and then you get back on track the next day. So no, 100% is not going to work. This is why diets tend to fail, because there's an expectation on a diet that you go all in and be really strict. That's not sustainable for people. And so when they come off the diet, if they last that long, they go right back to their old habits, and that's where they put all that weight back on plus some, because that's just not a sustainable way to live. Okay, so the 80-20 rule gives you allowance to go and cheat every now and then. It allows for bad days, it allows for slip-ups, no big deal, okay? This is a big part of why our programs are so successful. Another FAQ is, do we need to meet face-to-face? No, we don't. We can talk over Zoom or over the phone, whichever suits you best. Some people like face-to-face appointments if they're living locally to us and they can come to our office. That's not a problem. But these days, Zoom is super easy. It's almost like you're face-to-face when you're talking over Zoom or by phone. The first 1 or 2 appointments really shouldn't be done by phone, just because we have to show you things. So it's easier to do it either face-to-face or over Zoom, where we can share our screen and explain how things like the meal plans work. Last question, why should I come to you? So Steve and I believe that we are leaders in our field. In the health and wellness industry. We don't know of anybody else delivering the same results that we are. We have a 95% success rate in our coaching. So that is extremely high. When we think about the people that we've worked with, 95% of those people will walk away at the end of the program with incredible results. The 5% is usually somebody who has some kind of mental block and they don't follow through for whatever reason. There might be some self-sabotaging behaviour, or they're not following the guidelines that we set. So with our program, if people follow the guidelines, 80 to 90% of the time, they do what we ask. We have the regular coaching sessions with those people to address issues that come up. That's where the success rate comes from, is when people follow through and they do what we ask them to do. That's a reason why we say that, if you've got health issues, if you're feeling like, you're stuck, you're frustrated, spent heaps of money, spent heaps of time, got no results, come and see us. We understand that people can be skeptical because they've been burned in the past by professionals who have promised them, the world. The other thing you should know is that we offer a money back guarantee. So if you get no results over 12 weeks and you do everything we ask and you attend every coaching session and you get no results, we will give you your money back, no questions asked. So those are the FAQs that come our way quite often. Hope that has addressed them. Of course, if there's any others that I haven't answered and you would like to know, please ask. Just send me a message. So I'm going to leave it there for today. Gosh, this one's gone on for a long time. I don't think I've ever done 23 minutes before. But anyway, I had a lot to cover. So thanks for watching. Those of you who have tuned in this morning, I hope you all have a great day and a great week. We'll catch you same place, same time next week. Bye.